Heya Cryptozens, welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nikodemus and we do crypto news analysis nightly at 10 p.m. And keep in mind, none of this should be considered financial advice. And it's Friday, March 3rd, 2023. And thank you all for your birthday well wishes. They were greatly appreciated. Now let's start things off by looking at the EU, because policymakers from the European Parliament are discussing modifications to an EU bill that's aimed at preventing money laundering. And it's their position that companies that offer services related to NFTs, like NFT platforms, that they should be regulated by the law. This differs from the current rules for cryptocurrencies known as the Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation. Those rules do not currently address NFTs. The Markets in Crypto Assets Regulation, or MiCA, is expected to become law next month. In doing so, it will establish crypto regulations across the European Union. NFT platforms were excluded from the MiCA framework intentionally, but they may still have to follow the proposed anti-money laundering rules. According to the draft of the AML proposal, it's their stance that NFT platforms should be included in the AML framework to prevent money laundering and terrorist financing risks. The draft proposal suggests creating a new category of entities. These entities would be obligated to follow the AML and terrorism financing rules specifically for NFT platforms. NFTs were already included in the AML regulation in September. That said, these proposed changes would strengthen their position in the law. The Financial Action Task Force recently expressed concerns that NFT marketplaces pose a new risk in the fight against money laundering. The amendments to the EU bill must first pass a vote in two parliamentary committees overseeing negotiations on March 28th. If the amendments are approved, the entire bill will then be voted on. After that, the bill will move on for further negotiations. The AML regulation recently scrutinized self-hosted wallets and addresses and clarified their definitions and implications. By doing so, the bill may have avoided a complete ban on non-custodial services in the EU. Now, let's shift our attention from the European Union to the United Arab Emirates. Irina Hever is a Dubai-based lawyer. According to her, the newly established free zone in Ras Al Khaimah will consider accepting crypto payments from virtual asset firms planning to set up their business in the emirate. In the free zone, named Ras Al Khaimah Digital Assets Oasis, they will look into Bitcoin and stablecoins as payment options for services such as corporate registrations and office rent. That is, once they secure appropriate partners. Hever also mentioned that for the payment system to work, the right technology and regulatory infrastructure must be in place, but assured that the necessary groundwork has already been established. She also shared that the free zone will look into operating full Bitcoin and Lightning nodes to support the initiative. According to Hever, they are currently working on it. She said that they welcome technology partners to join them in this endeavor. The free zone was recently introduced during Blockchain Life 2023. It's a dedicated free zone for digital and virtual asset service providers that are engaged in various Web3 related businesses. Anything from the blockchain to digital wallets to NFTs to DAOs and more. Hever also disclosed that the free zone is looking to create appropriate legal structure for DAOs and exploring various regulated and non-regulated activities. There are more than 40 free zones in the United Arab Emirates. These include the Dubai Multi-Commodity Center and the Dubai International Finance Center. Compared to Dubai, Ras Al Khaimah offers living and business costs that are 50% lower, making it an ideal point for startup companies. According to Hever, the government will help virtual asset service providers with their banking requirements through its own entities and relationships. Coinbase is acquiring One River Digital Asset Management. Apparently, the two companies have a similar approach to risk management. One they credit with helping them navigate market volatility. In a statement, Coinbase said that they share a commitment to cautious risk management. One River Digital Asset Management is a subsidiary of One River Asset Management, which was founded by Eric Peters in 2013. It will be renamed Coinbase Asset Management. Peters will serve as its CEO and Chief Investment Officer. The new firm will operate independently even though it is wholly owned by Coinbase. Peters will also continue to serve as the CEO and CIO of One River Asset Management. Now, One River Asset Management, that's the parent company, they were not included in the deal. Greg Tussar is Coinbase's head of institutional product. He said that the acquisition is a move to bring more institutional investors into crypto. He also said that they plan to create a strong asset management business. That is, once market conditions improve. The terms of the deal have not yet been disclosed, but Coinbase confirmed that negotiations have been ongoing for at least a year. Now, Coinbase, along with Goldman Sachs, backed One River Digital in its Series A fundraising round. The startup gained attention in 2020 when it revealed plans to invest $1 billion in Bitcoin. In early 2021, One River and Coinbase collaborated to develop a platform that allows wealth managers to offer cryptocurrency investments to their clients. A press release about FTX's Chapter 11 case stated that they've got a big problem with their assets. Based on the latest spot prices, the wallets of accounts connected to FTX only have $2.2 billion in total assets. Out of that amount, only $694 million are what they're calling Category A assets, which are the most liquid assets. Things that are like fiat and stablecoins and Bitcoin or Ether. Besides the $694 million of Category A assets, FTX also has $385 million of customer receivables and claims against related parties. And that includes Alameda Research, because Alameda borrowed $9.3 billion from FTX.com wallets and accounts. Now, FTX US also has a shortfall in assets. It has $191 million in total assets in its accounts, as well as $28 million in customer receivables and $155 million of related party receivables. FTX US also owes $107 million to Alameda Research. John J. Ray III is the CEO and Chief Restructuring Officer of the FTX debtors. He wrote in the press release that the exchange's assets were all mixed together. He also said that their records are either incomplete or they're missing. He also noted that the information presented is preliminary and subject to change. The presentation showed the FTX team found $7 billion in customer payables in cash and stablecoins, but only $580 million in identified assets as of the petition date. Now, FTX has a deficit for all of the tokens classified as Category A assets. These are Bitcoin, Ether, Sol, XRP, BNB, Matic, and Tron. However, they are showing the low liquidity Category B tokens like MAPS and Serum as having surpluses. These surpluses don't even come close to offsetting those Category A liabilities. FTX US recorded some surpluses on the date of its petition, but they were mostly in small amounts of certain tokens like Doge. These surpluses weren't even enough to cover the deficits from its stablecoin, Ether, and Sol payables. Now, in the state of South Dakota, there's a bit of a showdown brewing over crypto. The Club for Growth is a conservative political organization, and they want Governor Kristi Noem of South Dakota to veto a bill. This bill proposes to exclude Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies from the definition of money in the state. They would literally no longer be money. The proposed legislation, HB 1193, plans to change the state's Uniform Commercial Code. They want to define money as a medium of exchange authorized or adopted by a government, foreign or domestic. That means fiat only, but that would allow for a central bank digital currency. Bad show, South Dakota. Bad show. Now, David McIntosh is the president of Club for Growth, and he wrote a letter about the bill. In that letter, McIntosh criticized the bill. He called it an assault on liberty and national security. Now, good show, Mr. McIntosh. According to him, the bill would harm the free market, innovation, individual liberty, and U.S. national security. McIntosh pointed out that the bill excludes decentralized assets like Bitcoin, but includes government-controlled central bank digital currencies, just like China's digital yuan, which is just wrong. For someone in the U.S. government to support copying communist China into a financial surveillance state, that's just not right. McIntosh concluded the letter by urging Governor Nome to veto the bill. On Wednesday, the Republican-controlled state Senate passed the bill. Now, this bill will now be sent to Governor Nome for her signature. Over the last year, the Club for Growth has been more vocal about digital asset issues. The group launched 2 crypto-focused super PACs called Bitcoin Freedom PAC and Crypto Freedom PAC during the 2022 midterm cycle. Super PACs can raise and spend unlimited funds in political races, but they are not allowed to coordinate directly with campaigns. Now, onto the national level. 2 Republican lawmakers are asking questions about how financial firms handle their accounting for cryptocurrency. U.S. Representative Patrick McHenry and Senator Cynthia Lummis have sent a letter to banking agencies asking about government policies controlling this area. They want to know how financial institutions are dealing with a bulletin from the SEC that's advising them to maintain customers' crypto holdings on their own balance sheets. Which sounds a little unusual, right? Now, McHenry is the chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, and Lummis is known to be a crypto supporter. The Federal Reserve and other U.S. banking agencies received a letter criticizing the SEC's Staff Accounting Bulletin 121. This letter, sent by McHenry and Lummis, argued that the measure could deny many Americans access to safe and secure custody arrangements for their digital assets. The lawmakers said that regulated banks would have to reject crypto custody due to the significant capital demands that come with it, which is precisely what the SEC wants, of course. They're trying to choke the fiat out of crypto, trying and succeeding. They also cited a recent bankruptcy case involving Celsius Network, in which all of the customers were classified as unsecured creditors. This highlights the legal risk of forcing customer custodial assets onto a bank's balance sheet. Last year, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said that the central bank was evaluating the SEC's directive. This directive changes the traditional practice for digital assets, where customers' assets would be kept off a financial firm's balance sheet. The leader of a new House Financial Services team for digital assets shared plans to team up with the House Agriculture Committee to create rules for cryptocurrency. Representative French Hill, a Republican from Arkansas, said that the team will work alongside the House Agriculture Committee. He said that he believed that this partnership would be effective. Now, if you're wondering what agriculture has to do with crypto, it's simple. The House Agriculture Committee oversees the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. The CFTC is one of the top regulators of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, so that's the connection. Glenn G.T. Thompson is a Pennsylvania Republican. He leads the committee and introduced a bill last year that would let crypto exchanges register with the CFTC. This year, Hill was chosen to chair the subcommittee on financial assets, financial technology, and inclusion. Representative Hill revealed that the team's aim was to establish a regulatory framework for crypto. Hill suggested that the first step might be focusing on stablecoins, but he also expressed some doubts. He said he wasn't sure if he could proceed in that direction, that he's not sure where the current administration stands in terms of collaborating with Congress on a regulatory framework, because he's a Republican. The president's a Democrat, and they don't get along too well these days. However, in the previous Congress, former House Financial Services Committee Chair Maxine Waters and current Chair Patrick McHenry, they did work together on regulating stablecoins. They drafted a bill that proposed a federal framework for stablecoins. McHenry said that the Treasury Department was responsible for delaying those negotiations. The Subcommittee on Financial Assets, Financial Technology, and Inclusion will focus on creating unambiguous regulatory standards for the digital asset industry. They will also develop policies to help underserved communities access financial technology. Additionally, Hill and Representative Bill Foster introduced a Central Bank Digital Currency Study Act last year. That bill would have mandated the Federal Reserve and several federal agencies to study the implications of implementing a central bank digital currency. Senator Edward Markey and Representative Jared Huffman have proposed a new bill that would require crypto miners to reveal their emissions. It would also have the Environmental Protection Agency report on the environmental impact of crypto mining. The proposed bill, called the Crypto Asset Environmental Transparency Act, was originally introduced in December, and it's supported by Senator Jeff Merkley of Oregon. If passed, the EPA would be required to conduct a study on the impact of miners using more than 5 megawatts of power on greenhouse gas emissions. Additionally, miners would be obligated to disclose information regarding their emissions. This bill is being reintroduced ahead of a hearing on Tuesday that will discuss the environmental effects of crypto mining. A witness list for that hearing is not yet available. In a statement, Markey expressed concern that the pollution caused by crypto mining is on the rise. He said that he was concerned about the impact of crypto mining on the environment. He said that while the country is addressing a serious crisis, miners are consuming vast amounts of energy. He accuses them of producing harmful emissions for their own profit. He believes that the industry must be held accountable to protect communities from further damage. The new bill is similar to last year's version. Markey also mentioned that some senators have inquired with the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, about the effect of crypto miners on their energy grid. So miners, be aware, because they are coming for you. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I will stop talking. If you enjoyed tonight's show, then please like, follow, subscribe. Leave a rating or review. And in the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow night.